Section 5.4, Part 1, Dividing Polynomials. Today, students will be able to divide polynomials using long division. So before we start adding polynomials to our long division, let's do a refresher on how we just complete long division, okay? So remember, you ask yourself, how many times does 2 go into 7? And you know 2 goes into 7 3 times, okay? Then to find out what you subtract, you do 2 times 3, which is going to give you 6, and you subtract 6. So 7 minus 6 gives me 1. Bring down the 3. So now you ask yourself, how many times does 2 go into 13? And you know that that's 6 times. And then to find out what you subtract, you do 2 times 6, which gives you 12. So I'm going to subtract 12. 13 minus 12 gives me 1. Then we bring down the 5. Okay? Repeat process again. 2 goes into 15 7 times. 2 times 7 gives me 14, so I subtract 14. 15 minus 14 gives me 1. Bring down the 4. 2 goes into 14 exactly 7 times again, and so you multiply 2 times 7, which gives you 14. Okay, so I have a 0. Then bring down the 9. So 2 goes into 9 4 times. And then you do 2 times 4, which gives me 8. Subtract 8 and you get 1, okay? And since you have nothing to bring down anymore, you did learn to add the decimal point and add a 0, but this 1 down here at the bottom is my remainder, so I just write remainder 1. So 73,549 divided by 2 gives me 36,774 with a remainder of 1. We are going to use that exact same idea, only this time there's going to be x's in our problem. Our first example, we are going to take 3x squared minus 29x plus 56, and we're going to divide it by x minus 7. So I put my x minus 7 on the outside, and then I put my 3x squared minus 29x plus 56 underneath. I am going to do a lot of scratch work for this problem so that I don't make any mistakes, okay? I would highly suggest that you follow along so that way you don't make minor mistakes as well. So to find out how many times x minus 7 goes into this, we take 3x squared and we're going to divide it by x. So I call that the first term underneath divided by the first term on the outside, okay? So 3x squared divided by x leaves me with just 3x. And I place that on top of my matching term. And then I have to find out what I need to subtract by. So I need to multiply that by what we're dividing by, which is x minus 7. So 3x times x gives me 3x squared. 3x times minus 7 gives me minus 21x. Okay, so I'm subtracting 3x squared and I'm subtracting minus 21x. So since I'm subtracting both of them, I must change both signs. So instead of positive 3x squared, it's negative 3x squared. Instead of negative 21x, it's going to be positive 21x. Again, since you're subtracting both, you have to change both of the signs. So the 3x squared and the negative 3x squared cancel each other out, and negative 29 plus 21 is going to give me minus 8x, and then I bring down my plus 56. Okay, now I repeat the whole process again. So my first term underneath is negative 8x, and I divide it by the first term on the outside, which is always going to stay that x. So negative 8x divided by x leaves me with minus 8, right that behind my minus 3. And then we have to find out what we're going to subtract, so I have to multiply it by x minus 7. So negative 8 times x gives me negative 8x. negative 8 times negative 7 is going to give me positive 56. And then remember, when you go to write this over here, you have to change both of their signs. So instead of negative 8x, it becomes positive 8x. Instead of positive 56, it becomes minus 56. Cancel, cancel, you get a remainder of 0. Every time you get a remainder of 0, that means that x minus 7 is a factor of this, okay? If you didn't get a remainder of 0, you would say that it's not a factor. So when you take 3x squared minus 29x plus 56, and when you divide it by x minus 7, you get 3x minus 8, which is a factor of 3x squared minus 29x plus 56. This is your final answer. Press pause and practice dividing 2x squared plus 7x plus 11 by x plus 2. So the x plus 2 goes on the outside. The 2x squared plus 7x plus 11 goes underneath, okay? So remember, first term underneath, which is 2x squared, divided by the first term on the outside, which is x. 2x squared divided by x leaves me with 2x. Place it on top of the same thing, so it goes on top of the 7x. Now let's find out what we're going to subtract, so we have to multiply it by x plus 2. So 2x times x gives me 2x squared. 2x times 2 gives me plus 4. And then change both signs. So instead of positive 2x squared, it becomes negative 2x squared. Instead of positive 4, it becomes negative 4. That should be an x. Okay? 2x squared minus 2x squared cancel each other out. 7x minus 4x gives me 3x. Bring down the plus 11. Okay, first term underneath is now 3x. First term on the outside, still my x. 3x divided by x leaves me with x. Multiply that by x plus 2 so we can find out what we subtract. 3x divided by x leaves me with 3. Okay, write your plus 3 at the top. 3x times x gives me 3x. 3 times 2 gives me 6. So instead of positive 3x, it becomes negative 3x. Instead of positive 6, it becomes negative 6. So the 3x's cancel each other out. 11 minus 6 gives me 5. So then I can't bring anything down. I would try to take my 5 and divide it by my x, and that's not going to work. So this is my remainder. So your answer is 2x plus 3, and then we just write r for remainder, and we write our number, which is 5. So you would tell me that x plus 2 was not a factor of 2x squared plus 7x plus 11 because I got a remainder of 5. If you got a remainder of 0, it would be a factor.